Alright, last time on DVE, we set up this character. What we're going to be doing now is we're going to actually get it to have some animation on there. Alright, so it's not a very difficult process. What we simply need to do is start pinning the puppet. For example, the legs, we have leg 1 and leg 2. And the tool that we're going to be using is this puppet pin tool. So the way the puppet pin tool works is that you select it and you choose which body part you're going to be pinning. So for example, I'm going to start from here and it's going to drop in a pin rather, for that body part. So one pin, a second pin for the knee, and a third pin. That means I can do this now, right? So that gives me a lot of control and flexibility for that leg. And we're going to do the same thing for the other leg. So it's simply clicking the origin point here and here. And we still get the same little noodly limbs. Right? Some people are particular towards noodly limbs, some people don't like it. But it's all a matter of how you want it to work. Now the same thing with the arms. I'm going to select the arm. Right? So arm 1 and 2. Right? So we have arm 1, U. Right? And I'm going to show you another property of this puppet pin tool. If you click on, say, the arm, and let's say this is going to be like the elbow, and then this is where your wrist is going to be, right? And we normally get those noodly arms, right? So I can put this here and say, okay, only, and we say that is that right there. If you don't want these arms to be like noodles, there's another tool you could use. So if you look near this tool, there's a little arrow there. If you click and hold it, there's something called Puppet Starch Tool. And the Puppet Starch Tool allows you to literally just starch. So this one here, and you can actually increase the amount of starch you want to put on the puppet. And what on earth does that mean? Well, it means that part is going to become a very rigid body. So it's going to be stiff, and you can tell if you look at it now, it's very sharp and angular. Right? So when it bends now, you don't have that. You actually have a kind of broken look about it. And that's because you're starching it. Just like if you put starch on clothes, it gets stiff. When you put the starch on the puppet, it gets stiff as well. Alright, so I'm just undoing that. So you have the starching tool, and the way it works really is that each point you have something called amount, right? And you have also extent. So right now you're seeing an extent of 15%, I think it's that much. And you can also look at it and you can change how much of an effect you have on it. So whether it's going to be very harsh and very sturdy, or you're going to be very kind of loosely sturdy, so it's not like that effective, but can support some level of movement without being too rigid. But you can see here that that is not the case for this part. Right, so I'm going to stick with being noodly armed and stuff, right? And we only need about 3 parts. We don't need any more than that, right? So we have this and that. And these things you just take a note of, because there's 2 ways you can animate in this. You can actually record yourself while it's being moved, or record the animation on the puppet tool, or you can actually just punch in a keyframe, move it, punch in a keyframe, move it again, just like we would for the other stuff. So that's one character arm. Next one is arm 2. So let's pin this. We'll just click one there, click one here, and click one right there, and just move that noodle right over on the left side. Oh no, there's 2 of them. So let's remove one by pressing delete and just moving that one here. Let's carry it up slightly. It will stretch, trust me. It's not partial about doing that. Right, so you could actually choose to have the character do some stuff. You want some stuff. Cool. And we save that there. Cool. So even now still, if you move the character's torso, it's still going to maintain that whole hierarchy. So like I said, there's two ways you can actually animate this character. So let's say you want the character to be, let's say we want let me kind of do this. And this is where it gets a little tricky because when you start adding, when these are all separate parts, it's a little harder to control, but it gives you more flexibility. I don't know how that makes sense. But now you're able to control each individual part, but you still have to do more work in terms of getting them to look like they're working together. So I'm going to put one on the torso. So one here, and here, in the middle, and here. And so when I'm doing movements, you can see like a thing, right? So he can look like he's doing stuff. But because it's a puppet pin now, it's not going to stick with the hierarchy that we had, unless you're just going to move it regular transform movements, like scale and rotate and all those different things. And so we have this now. Now let's say you want the guy to do something. You don't really want to put too much work in there, you just want to be like, oh hi, hello, right? So here's what we can do. Make sure your puppet pin tool is selected and select what you want to use it for. So for example, let's say you're going to be using it for this hand here. That's right here, that's hand arm 2. And if I select arm 2 and I start putting on my puppet pin tool, I have this ability to just hold CTRL, because if you hover over it, it tells you nothing. But if you do hold CTRL, you're going to see a time watch on it, and that's telling you that you can actually tell that thing to move. So then what happens now, it's collecting your movement and actually recording it. So that when you look over time now, and I'm just going to run that, it's just going to do a really, so it's a really fast wave, right? Still very noodly, right? And you can also add, I think, a motion blur to it just to make it more appealing, right? So that might have been a little bit too fast. So if I want to erase the keyframes, and I've set keyframes, I press U, and it shows you all the different keyframes I have. Right now I can say, okay, let me just delete a bunch of these, and a bunch of these, just a bunch of these, and see what it looks like. It'll look more like this. It's just like 1, 2 keyframes. It's not anything special, right? So that's how the puppet pin tool works, and you can see there's a keyframe for each puppet pin. So we have 1, 2, and 3. You can actually take that one as well and this one, and work it out how you want to work it out. So let's try and do like a simple action. Maybe the character is what should we have him do? Walk. Okay. Now if you're gonna make a character walk, like the other ones, okay, let's look at that one again. Simple character motion graphics, like this dude here. We're gonna do that. Let's try something like this. So the thing about it is that you kind of have to be aware of how a walk works. There's almost like everybody walks differently, but there's a certain set of steps you have to take when you're walking. So we're gonna try that. I guess the first things first is getting the legs out of the way. Because once you get the legs out of the way, it gets a little easier. Just work your way up. Huh? Oh, yeah. Oh. So we're gonna start with leg one of these. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna darken this leg just a little bit more so you can see a clear distinction. Like if they were to cross paths, you don't want it to look like, you know, the legs are the same. So I can go right click on leg 2. I'm just going to do something really simple. I can choose layer styles, color overlay. Yeah. Once you choose the color overlay, where is it? Right, layer styles, color overlay. It's red now, but we just want to change to black and lower the opacity of that black. So it's only just slightly darker. Right? So I could try and explain how a walk cycle looks, but let me just bring up something. Walk cycle. So you have like a couple main poses. These are the ones you want to make note of. You have basically 4 of them. You have contact, low, passing, and high. Some other ways you can call it stride, step, crossover, and high point. It depends on how your vocab is, because this one also says contact, down, passing. The names are different, but it's really just the same thing. So we could use, let's say, this one as an example. And you notice that the hip is going to be moving up and down with it as well, right? So that comes up as well. So I could probably start by doing this. Okay, this is the leg, and we have one. So we're going to work with this. Let's say it's like this, and then straight leg like this. So I have to pick that leg as well, and just kind of position it in a way that makes sense, right? I guess I was working with the those first. So that's one. And what is important is that you set your keyframes. Right, so this is a puppet, and you just want to set your keyframes. So all these, and we just say, okay, mesh 1, deform your puppet pin 1, 2, and 3. Just turn on your stopwatch for all of them. Right, that's the first one. Next one for the other leg, leg 1 and leg 2. You can even check by pressing U if there's any keyframe set for it, and there is. So that's one. Right, so imagine one leg like so, and the other leg like so. And I mean, tweaking is going to take a little bit of time, but it's a matter of if you want it to be done properly. Alright, let's continue. This looks like it's gonna run, but that's fine. Just have a hurried walk, and that's one set of keyframes. Next one. What happens next? There's a stepping, and then it kind of steps down. So then we want him to go up like this. So this foot is gonna come up as well. And then this other leg, at the same time, is going to be coming up like this, like so. So then you have something like this. So I'll just borrow this and carry this over here. It's a slow and time-consuming, boring process. The sound of my voice does not make it any easier to bear. Alright, so leg 1, leg 2. Let's pull this back a bit. Let's dial it back. Yes. And at the same time, because I'm already on it, this null object, I play with the positioning and say, okay, I want it to look more natural. So what I'll be doing is using a ruler as a guide as to where I want the feet to be at whatever time it is. So at the first bit, the feet are like this. I just want to know that that's where it makes a contact point. Same thing for this other leg. Oh, leg. Right, so that's like the floor. For us, it'll be the floor. And then here, we'll just have this thing, which is controlling everything to move down a bit. So now you have this look about it. Oof. Oh, leg. Oh, leg. Anything when I'm uploading to YouTube, I just speed up this part of the video. That's one. Now we'll go over to frame number 4 or second 4. And what we're gonna do, we need this passing position where he comes back up. Right, so this leg over here is going to come up like this. But this other leg, leg number 2, is going to be straightened up like so. Right? And this has been changed. But we just now need to move this thing up. So let's just check the leg, make sure we're okay with that part. And then this part now, the position is gonna go up to make sure it stays right on the line. See that? And then we just come back over here. And what's the next position? We have this raised up one where the leg actually goes straight up while the other one comes up. So this leg, same puppet tool, it's going to be going all the way up there. As well, it's going to make another step. But this leg now shoots up a little bit more. Or even carry this part a little bit back. And just move this positioning up some more. So now you get something like this. That's a really high walker. This is high, isn't it? Yeah. This one here. Too long, right? Yeah, we're doing some squash and stretch. We haven't done it yet. So let's bring this down. Right? And this leg thing, that we have leg 1, probably doesn't need to be as long. And this leg here, probably can just go up here like so. Hmm? One more. Leg 2. Oh, you are leg 1. Like so. Yeah, maybe more like this. Maybe this down is too much too. Oh, I'd like to propose. right? So maybe that goes on a little bit too far. So probably carry this up, carry this part down a little bit, carry this leg down some more, pull this back so it's not too much, and then just move this guy back up and just fix this leg. Okay, what is that? All right, so there's an additional keyframe that just suddenly snaps, right? So we're gonna have to delete this one here, these two, because they're not ordered properly. So that's one set of keyframes. Oh dear. Bonjour. Morning. So there's another one, another leg somewhere that's doing weird things. Oh no, look at my battery life. It is dying. Let us save. So little walk guys coming along nicely. I mean once you get into that swing of it, it's a matter of tweaking until you like what you see. Alright, so let's continue here. It's looking better now. There we go. And then what do we do? Let's proceed again. I think we could just I'm gonna throw in a keyframe here. And yes, with things like this, guys, yes, you can make money. Someone says, "Oh, could you make an ad for us, Azenquor thing?" You just show me, you just go, so okay, just walk up two character and just go, "Hey, here it is. Oh, this looks so nice, so clean, so I mean, 5,000. You mean USD? Oh, okay. No, man, you charge per hour of work you're doing. You charge per hour. You could always charge for the whole package, but I usually charge per hour because sometimes your client be like, wait, we need a few more changes. It's coming out of your pay though still, so you can just give them one flat rate and they'll just take you for a ride. You could do that. Alright, how do we end this walk? Well, we come back down to the same one like before, which looks kind of like this one. It's not as simple as copying and pasting this time. Character animator or character animate? The same. Adobe Character Animate. Character Animate allows you to what's the word? Do live animation. So for example, you could critic. You could rig it, but they come with preset animation for you already. So you just put the points where you want it to go and just tell it to walk and it will walk. And then you also have parts where it recognizes your face, facial features for whatever character you have. So what if you're making an offset face, the character does offset face if you have the things for those. So there's some motion capture in there with your webcam, and then you're able to do live stuff. So let's do another one here, and we just carry this up. Just quickly running back to this one just so I can see what it looked like. You know, just And you can see how much work this is taking. So you can have an idea of how much to charge. Hmm? Which one? Oh, just click here. The thing is, I'm trying to click. Oh, the thing is, I can't click on the leg itself. I have to click on where the leg was originally placed. So I think I'll just do that here. Thank you. So we do that. What's the shortcut for Puppet? No, Control P is the shortcut. So now that I know my shortcuts now, my workflow is going to be a little faster. So we take that. Whoops, that's not supposed to go there. U. Oh, that's U. Whoops. We're using U. And you have to go a little bit more forwardish. So let me see. Kind of like that. Straight leg. How very Squidward of you. Kind of bent here, kind of. Why you no load? Alright, so look at that now. And then we can move this thing down. And this just be like one or half a walk cycle. So it looks like this. Right? And right now it's actually running really slow because for each step is a different second, like 2 seconds apart. But if you wanted to go faster, right, you'd actually have to put the keyframes closer together. So here's how I'm going to do that. I'm just going to highlight everything I have and just press U. What U does, it's going to show you all the keyframes that have been animated. And all I really need to do is just put them together and just do this. Yes, I'm tweaking it. Work it. So I'll just select these, which is everything I have. Everything for this one. And move it over here. Probably half of one. Next one's going to be probably another set of that. Right now, that's going to happen over 3 seconds. By the way, to do that, you press tilde on the window that you're on, and it's going to maximize that one for the whole screen. Just in case you want to do something specific for something. So let's say we play that out. Kind of slow. Right? So that's kind of slow still. What we could actually do afterwards, if you think it's still too slow, after you finish the entire walk, we can do something called time remapping, where we actually just tell it to go faster. But I trust you could actually finish this up. So it's almost like he's cautiously walking. But let's make it even faster. So that's fine. This is next. Too much. And because I want a much smoother transition between things, I'm just going to highlight everything I have. And we're going to go easy ease on it, F9. All the keyframes change. Let's do this. That's the pre-render. I still kind of cautious, but that's okay, right? So depending on how you want him to walk, you have subtle nuances and subtle how the timing works. So I'm gonna stop the video about here. I think you kind of get the idea. You can do the same thing with the arms, right? You have to just plan how you want the arms to move and then just get them to move that way. Right, but one more thing I want to do, because I have the lightning bolt here. So I'm gonna have the lightning bolt. I'm gonna play with the transform property for the position. You can always hit P for the shortcut and then just have him do that. And in the middle of that, just have it move the lightning bolt probably over here. And just set that up, F9. Right, so it looks like he's walking and something's moving from side to side. Right, so I hope you enjoyed that little lesson. Make sure you finish up yours and show me how it looks. So bye.